Hello, everyone. I'm Marcello. It's Joel A. Erickson. National Signing Day in the books. Sorta. It's not done yet when we're recording this. By the time you watch it, it'll be done. Auburn, right now, sitting with 27 players. Can probably bring in 2 more if they want, but it looks like it might be 1. But what were some needs that they ended up filling in this class? There were several positions, and looks like they got it done.
Now, part of the reason we went position by position, 1, to use the information that I compiled all year, but 2, to kind of look at what they needed. And the things that stuck out to me coming into this week were wide receiver, not because of the frontline guys. They've got guys that play the frontline spots, but they need depth. They play 6 receivers. Wide receiver and then defensive line was the other big one. They're losing a bunch of defensive tackles. So this week, they land 2 wide receivers, 2 good ones.
Yeah.
Flipping one of them from Georgia and take the other one from Florida. And they also land a couple of defensive ends. One who's a really big-time instant impact guy, and if he can be an instant impact guy and play right away, what it allows them to do is shore up the defensive tackle position by moving somebody like a Devontae Lambert or Elijah Daniel inside.
Yeah, exactly. And that impact guy being, of course, Byron Cowart, who
committed and nothing happened.
Yeah,
no, wait.
Committed, sent his letter in 7 hours later, and 3 people's heads exploded. But he's coming to Auburn, and he'll be a starter from day one. And if he's not, that'll be a huge surprise. He'll be on the opposite side of Carl Lawson. As you said, Lambert, who's coming off surgery, but was the team's leading sacker last year, which kind of told you how
very good against the run.
Yeah, and how bad they were against the pass rush. He's coming back, and he's more of a guy that could fit inside. Because I think, as bad as everybody focused on defensive end, they could have easily shored that up this year, and then they turn around and go, oh, we don't have any tackles.
Yes.
And that's a big concern, because if you did look at Auburn's strength last year, it was tackle. And the good thing is you're going to have Montravius Adams back, and if you can move Lambert back in, Adams maybe will finally not be getting double-teamed. 1, because you'll have a good tackle next to him, but 2, there'll be another end maybe on the side of him that's getting maybe some double teams as well.
Landing an instant impact guy at defensive end was probably the biggest thing, just because of the starting lineup. With the receivers, linebacker was another need. They're going to have a 3rd one now, and they didn't have a lot of guys who they felt like they could play last year. So they needed to move some guys there, bring in 4. 4's a huge class. All 4 stars or above, or all 4 stars. I don't know.
Pretty much everybody in this class is 4-star and above.
Yeah, so they did a good job, especially late. Especially late, of not only getting guys, but getting guys that could compete for playing time right away. Another one that comes up is cornerback. Yeah. You've got a second-team All-SEC pick in Jonathan Jones, but you don't really have anybody on the other side unless you move a Joshua Holsey or a TJ Davis steps forward. They get Carlton Davis. There. Sorry, it takes us a little while to memorize all the names. They get Carlton Davis there, and that's a guy who might be able to come in and play right away.
Here's the thing about him: 6'1", longer guy, and Muschamp likes the bigger guys, as you're seeing more and more, of course, in college football and obviously NFL. But he's a longer guy, and they like to get those bigger guys going because, as we know, the last couple years, first 2 years under Ellis Johnson here, small cornerbacks, athletic, but just weren't very physical at the point of attack at times.
Oddly, he doesn't need them to be big at safety or tall.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Oddly, he doesn't need it. That's a little bit different, but he's had Earl Thomas, Matt Elam, guys who are shorter, be very successful, and they have one of those in this class, an early enrollee, Tim Irvin. One other position, need-wise, that was very interesting to me. They brought in Chandler Cox, and they've moved Cameron Petway, and what that tells me is they want somebody who's played running back at the H-back position.
Yeah,
they don't want a tight end.
And this isn't necessarily connected to it, but we sure are talking about the Wildcat a lot more, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Gus has been bringing that up. You're going to see that more this season because they do not have a running quarterback like Nick Marshall. And he brought up Kerryon Johnson today, who is a guy you probably thought wouldn't really even play, especially if they try to get him in a running back. But he says he's a guy like Darren McFadden, if you remember at Arkansas, did the Wildcat and was a Heisman runner-up. He feels like that maybe Kerryon could fill that type of role for them immediately and be a Wildcat threat. So there's maybe your answer to how are they going to do things when you don't have a running quarterback. They might just run a little bit more Wildcat.
They've done that before. Javon Reed played Wildcat in his first year before getting hurt. So they're not afraid to put a freshman in that spot. Anyway, lots of needs. We will be going over all of that probably in more detail than you'd like to admit, in the next couple of days, AL.com.